Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox. I would like to welcome you to the Sunday Book Review. The Sunday Book Review is the series where I discuss books which impact the compliance practitioner, the legal professional, and the business professional. I hope you will enjoy this episode. This is the Sunday Book Review for March 7, 2021. March 6th is the anniversary of the fall of the Alamo, so today we're going to take up books about the Alamo. And we begin with The Standard, which is A Time to Stand, written by Walter Lord, the epic of the Alamo. Looking out over the walls, even in the intense sun of a February heat, Colonel Travis knew his small garrison had little to no chance of holding back the Mexican army. Even after a call for reinforcements brought dozens of Texans determined to fight for their fledgling republic, the cause remained hopeless. This is really one of the first stories that are first history books that looked at the Alamo in a systematic way, and to my mind, still one of the best. So check out Walter Lord, A Time to Stand. Next up, probably the one that people are most familiar with, at least if you grew up in Texas, is Lon Tinkle's 13 Days to Glory. Familiar figures appear on these pages: stern young William Travis, the middle-aged fighter Jim Bowie, and the frontiersman Davy Crockett. Echoing the shot heard round the world and the volleys fired by the Alamo defenders were aimed at the large and well-outfitted army of Santa Anna, self-styled the Napoleon of the West. As the days of the siege are described, the author cinematically flashes back to pivotal points of destiny, the circumstance which led each to be inside the walls of the abandoned mission. Susanna Dickinson, captured after the mission fell, recalls the day she headed for a wedding and wound up eloping to Texas with the intended groom, an old flame of hers. Travis left Alabama under a cloud, having privately admitted to committing a murder. Bowie, having lost his wife and children and wealthy in-laws to a cholera epidemic, now devoted his energies to saving his extensive land holdings in Texas. And Crockett, stung by the loss of his seat in Congress, concluded to light out for the territory of Texas, where land prices were 1/10 of those in America, and the American frontier was being secured. Thoroughly documented 13 Days to Glory includes a chronology of events from June 30, 1835, up until the fall of the Alamo on March 6th. Next up, The Gates of the Alamo by Stephen Harrigan, a huge, riveting, deeply imagined novel about the siege and fall of the Alamo, an event which has formed the consciousness of Texas and resonates throughout history. It follows the lives of three peoples whose fates became bound to the now fabled Texas fort. Edmund McGowan, a proud and gifted naturalist whose life work is threatened by the war against Mexico. The resourceful and widowed innkeeper Mary Mott and her 16-year-old son Terrell, whose first shattering experience with love leads him to war instead and into the crucible of the Alamo. The story unfolds with vivid intimacy and describes a pivotal battle from the perspective of Mexican attackers as well as American defenders. Filled with dramatic scenes and abounding in fictional and historical personalities, including Jim Bowie, Crockett, Travis, and Santa Anna, The Gates of the Alamo unfolds in history and is remarkable and passionate storytelling, allowing all of us to participate in this American legend. So those are three of my top books about the Battle of the Alamo. Obviously, very important in the mythology of Texas. Never forget it's a last stand battle, and always remember what happens in last stand battles. They end very poorly for the defenders, except for the myth. As this is the last Sunday in February, next month, March, which begins on Monday, we're going to have a new series on the compliance life, and I have Rob Chestnut. Rob is the most recent, or rather recently retired, Chief Compliance Officer at Airbnb. He had a fascinating professional career, of course, leading to the writing of his best-selling book. So I hope you'll check out Rob Chestnut on The Compliance Life in March of this year. It'll be a 4-episode series. I know you'll enjoy it and learn quite a lot.